Have you ever been texting a friend? You are trying to tell them something super exciting. Maybe you just did an amazing science experiment. You type out all the words. You explain the fizzing and the foaming. You describe the amazing color change. Now, you want to add the perfect emoji. You scroll through the list. You see smiley faces and animals. You see cars and food. You are looking for something specific. You want to show your friend exactly what you used in your experiment. It was a special kind of beaker, the triangle-shaped one. You keep scrolling and scrolling, your thumb getting tired. You start to feel a little bit confused. Where could it be? You know, there are science emojis. You have seen the test tube emoji before. You have probably even used the microscope emoji. So, a beaker should be there, right? It seems like a very important tool for any scientist. You look in the objects section. You check the symbols section. You even try typing science or beaker into the search bar. But nothing comes up. All you find are the same old emojis you always see. The triangle beaker, the one you really need, is nowhere to be found. It feels like a mystery. This little search for an emoji can feel surprisingly important. You had a picture in your mind of the perfect message. It included words and a cool little picture to make it pop. Without that one specific emoji, your message feels incomplete. It is like telling a great story, but forgetting the most exciting part. You wanted to share your passion for science in a fun, visual way. But the tool you needed to do that was missing. It is strange how something so small, like a missing picture on your phone, can make you feel like you cannot fully express yourself. It's a tiny bit frustrating, isn't it? Think about all the emojis that do exist. There is an emoji for a floppy disk, which many people have not used in years. There are multiple kinds of mailboxes and trains. Yet, a fundamental piece of science equipment is missing. It makes you wonder how the emoji creators decide what to include. They must have long meetings about which pictures are important enough for everyone to use. Maybe they did not think enough people would want to talk about science. But we know that is not true. Science is everywhere, and it is exciting enough to deserve its own special set of emojis. Let's talk about the difference between what we have and what we wish we had. In the world of emojis, we have a test tube. It is a great start. A test tube is a classic symbol of science. It makes you think of mixing potions and making cool reactions. We also have the microscope, which is perfect for talking about things that are too small to see. These emojis are fantastic for sending a quick message about a science project or something you learned in class. They help us share our love for discovery with just a single tap. They are useful tools in our digital communication toolbox, helping us add a splash of science to our chats. But then we think about what is missing. The triangle beaker, also known as an Erlenmeyer flask, is a hero in the chemistry lab. Its special shape is designed to help scientists swirl liquids without them splashing out. It is used in so many important experiments. Not having an emoji for it feels like a big oversight. It is like having a pencil emoji, but no paper emoji. One just does not feel complete without the other. This missing piece makes our science emoji collection feel a little empty, as if a key player from the team is sitting on the bench for no reason at all. This feeling of incompleteness can be a little annoying. When you cannot find the right word or the right picture, it is hard to share your exact thought. You are forced to use something else that is not quite right. You might use the test tube emoji, but you know in your head that you really used a flask. It feels like you are not telling the whole truth about your awesome experiment. This little detail might seem silly to some people, but for those who love science, the details matter. The shape of the glassware is important, and we want to be able to share that detail with our friends. So why do some emojis get made while others are left behind? A group called the Unicode Consortium is in charge of this. They look at proposals from people all over the world. They decide if a new emoji is needed and if many people will use it. Maybe not enough scientists and science lovers have asked for a beaker emoji yet. Maybe they do not realize how much we want to celebrate chemistry in our text messages. It is a reminder that if we want to see something change, sometimes we have to be the ones to ask for it. The quest for the beaker emoji is a real thing. This search for a digital beaker can feel a lot like a real-life situation. Have you ever been in science class? Ready to start an experiment? The teacher gives you a list of materials you need. You go to the supply station to gather your equipment. You need a beaker, a graduated cylinder, and a stirring rod. You find the cylinder and the rod easily, but you look all over the shelf for the right-sized beaker. You look behind other glassware. You check the cupboards. You ask your lab partner if they have seen it. The beaker is just gone. Someone from the last class must not have put it back. That feeling of frustration is the exact same feeling you get when you cannot find the right emoji. You have a plan in your head. You know what you need to do to complete your task. But a key piece is missing, and it stops you in your tracks. You cannot move forward until you find it. In the lab, you cannot start your experiment without the beaker. In a text message, you cannot send your perfect science-themed message without the beaker emoji. It is a small problem, but it brings everything to a halt. It makes you feel stuck and a little bit powerless. This experience is not just about science labs or emojis. It happens in our daily lives all the time. Imagine you are building a big Lego set. You are on the very last step. You are about to place the final, most important piece on top. You reach into the box, but your fingers find nothing. The piece is missing. The entire amazing creation you just spent hours on cannot be finished. That sinking feeling in your stomach is the same frustration. It is the feeling of being so close to finishing something, only to be stopped by one missing element you cannot control. When something is missing, it can also make us feel left out. When we see emojis for sports, music, and so many other hobbies, but not for our favorite parts of science, it can feel like our interests are not as important. It is like being at a party where everyone is talking about a TV show you have never seen. You want to join the conversation, but you do not have the right information. Having a beaker emoji would be a small way of saying that science is a cool and important part of our everyday conversations, and that people who love science belong in that conversation too. So what can we do when the perfect tool is missing? We get creative. This is what being a scientist is all about. Science is not just about following instructions, it is about solving problems. If you are in the lab and cannot find the right beaker, you do not just give up. You and your teacher figure out a different way. Maybe you can use a different sized beaker. Maybe another piece of glassware will work just as well for that specific step. You adapt and find a new solution. This kind of thinking is one of the most important skills you can learn. We can do the same thing with our emojis. If there is no triangle beaker emoji, we can invent our own way to show it. You could try combining other emojis to make something that looks like a beaker. Maybe you can use a triangle emoji and a glass or cup emoji next to it. Or you could just type out the word beaker with some fun sparkles around it. It is not the same as having the real thing, but it is a fun challenge. It forces you to think outside the box and use the tools you have in a new and interesting way. Your friends might even think it is more creative. This challenge encourages us to express ourselves in new ways. When we are limited, our creativity can shine. Instead of just tapping a picture, we have to think a little harder about how to share our excitement. This can lead to even better conversations. You might end up explaining what an Erlenmeyer flask is to your friend, and you both might learn something new. The absence of one thing can open the door to a bigger and more interesting discussion. It turns a simple text message into a moment of teaching and sharing your passion in a more detailed way. Never let a missing piece stop you from sharing what you love. Whether it is a beaker in a lab, a piece in a game, or an emoji on your phone, there is always another way. The world is full of amazing things to discover and to be excited about. Your enthusiasm is the most important ingredient. So, keep experimenting, keep exploring, and keep sharing your adventures with everyone. And who knows? Maybe if enough of us keep talking about it, one day we will scroll through our phones and find that perfect, shiny triangle Beaker emoji waiting for us after all.